Hello, welcome back to our YouTube channel Box, and I'm going to cover a concept of mocking and what is a mocking actually in API concept. I'm going to go to API mocking at Google and try to see the definition of it. So the way Google define API mocking is just it's just way of imitating the real API server by providing realistic mock response to the request. So what happened when you call the API? You are expecting to get a response from the API. So and sometimes the API is not should not be in parallel in development, so you don't have to wait for the API to be complete in order to achieve in order to develop the application. So instead we use a concept called mocking. So in this time, the result that will come from the backend as the request as the response when the certain request is sent to the backend. And this is why the mocking is really powerful in order to help you to speed up the process and be able to move quick without waiting for the API and so on. So, and I'm going to just go back to the code base, and I'm going to go to the login. So here I have a login screen, and I'm going to make sure that whenever I click on maybe on this login, whenever I click on this button on login view, I can be able to, let me go to the login. So whenever I click on maybe verify, so I'm going to mock these requests. So in the real world, what I will be doing is just to send the request to the API and be able to get a response from the API about if a user has logged in inside the app. So and to achieve that, I have two things. I have a fake API, and this fake API you can see that is starting from here on line 54, and this is implementing API, and this is the interface that we have to this is a contract that we have to bind with in order to achieve this. So if we go there, we have different methods. I'm going to remove this. So we have different methods. We have HTTP login and we have Firebase auth. So these are two different methods that we have, and I'm going to just try to rename this because so remember, this is the abstract class. So this is the contract that we are defining in order for whatever implementation that is going to be done is going to use this interface. So let me refactor this to something. I'm going to call it web desktop plugin. So because we'll be having actually a web and desktop login, which is different to the Android and iOS login. So once this method is changed, then I'm going to be able to go to the fake login, fake API, and this is where we are going to use a lot of mocking. So why do we have this fake API? Is because we want to make sure that we speed up the development. So we don't want to wait for the API and deal with the internet and so on. We just make sure that we are so fast in implementing the feature we are given to implement. So I'm going to call this I'm going to rename it to web desktop login, and it's going to rename the same methods here. If I go here, you can see that the method is already changed. So let me go to here. So you can see that our API now has different so now have this API. So here I can be able to return the response that is so fake. So what do I mean that? Because remember I'm using the proxy. So remember, if I go to the proxy and I'm using this proxy services in order to access the implementation of this API. So, and if I go to the third-party services and I go to the API, I can see that when I load the API, I immediately choose, like, if I'm using the fake, then I'm going to return the fake API. Otherwise, I'm going to return the real API, which is going to use the real call of the API we're using. But for now, we'll be using the fake API. So I need to go to the proxy service. I know that whenever a person click on verify here, so I need, before closing this, I need to call the proxy API. I need to call the proxy service, and I need to say API, and I need to call the methods that we need to get from fake API. So we need to call this fake API just like this, but I need to import this. I need to import it from package flipper. Then I need to pass the, you can see that in order to call this function, I need to be able to call the web, I need to give it the phone number. So I'm going to make sure this is named function. So I'm going to go here and also make it to be a named parameter, and this should be okay, and this can be null, and we are fine. But I need to go also to the fake API and do the same thing, and I need to make sure that this can be null. Okay, so now this is where I'm going to simulate the behavior of HTTP. So I know the real world HTTP call is going to have some delay on when you're calling that endpoint. So I'm going to simulate that delay by using this feature.delay, and I'm going to make sure that this is going to delay 2 seconds. Then after that, I'm going to return the response. So I know the response that will come from the backend, or I can even think about how the response is going to look like, then to simulate the functionalities. So here for now, I know I need to pass a number, and from this number, let me just put it here as a constant for now, because this it's not yet implemented full. And this is how I can achieve to have the function, this web desktop login, be able to call the fake login from this fake API, and then be able to return the fake response from this fake HTTP API. Then I can be able to proceed once I get a response. Remember, this response is not a real response, it's just a fake response in order for me to just finish the task and move on to another things. So once the API is no longer fake, we shall implement, instead of using fake API, now we can easily swipe the functionality from fake API to a real API. So this is how you can do that. So another thing I want to cover is routing, and I'm going to have this auto route auto route package, and this package is going to help us to have a simple routing. It's going to make our life easier in when we are trying to implement routing. So what I'm going to do, I have added these two package, auto route and this one, auto route generator, and I made sure that this router is using node safety and is supported for Android, iOS, Linux, macOS and Windows. But there is one problem, is that this package is not supported on the web. So this is where we need to be careful when we're choosing what we are going to use inside the app, because you can see that there's nowhere this package is going to be running on web, which is so important. So I'm going to comment this package, because after evaluating the package, I can see that there's no way it can work on web. So this will be something I will cover too in the next videos, but I think for now we don't need the routing system implemented. So I'm going to take a time and just see how and the best way we can do that. But I wish that we can use this auto route. I wish we can use this auto route, because I know I have used it with the production app, but because of that I think we need to switch to something else. So that's what I can say about the mocking. So it's about defining the functions that you want to mock about the API, and you define those functions in abstract class called API. Then once you define those methods here, you say that you define that methods, and maybe you say that this method is going to take a phone number, which is going to be the case of Android and iOS. Then you make sure that you implement those methods whenever the fake API, for example, you're going to implement that function, and you do that by returning the response that you think that the backend is going to return, in order for you to continue doing your work. So that's it. The mockings just simply returning the fake response from the fake API in order to achieve in order to mimic the functionalities that you want to implement. And also it will help us a lot in terms of writing unit testing, because we need to make sure that in unit testing we are not using the real API. So we need to make sure that we are using the mock response from the fake API, and we need to make sure that the response, the same responses we have mocked or faked, it should be the same as the real responses that we are expecting from the real API. So thank you for watching. I think this video really make a little bit sense. If doesn't not make it clear for the concept of mocking, please ping me and ask me about that. I'll be happy to do that video again, so that the concept can be a little bit clear. And this is how we are going to do the entire project until we have everything in place. Then after that we can swipe the functionalities from the fake API to the real API. Thank you so much.